Ball State had its struggles on offense in 2023, most notably the passing game, where they ranked 122nd in total offense, averaging 308 yards per game, 128th in passing offense at just 136.6 yards per game, and then 53rd in rushing offense, averaging 171.5 yards per game. They were 122nd in scoring offense with 18.3 points per game. Let's get to the position where it all starts on offense, and that is the quarterback. There was, I guess, I think everyone believed to be there was a quarterback battle this spring between Caden Simonza and Kyle Kelly. But then shortly after spring practice, Kelly entered the portal, but he has since returned back to Ball State. Can you tell us a little bit about how the quarterbacks looked in the spring?
Yeah, the quarterback, and for the last two seasons, it's been a Kelly Simonza kind of back and forth, one-on-one thing. At the start of the season, Simonza is going to be the Ball State starter. There's no, that's pretty well accepted, but Kyle is going to have an even further expanded role, kind of like a Tayshaun Hill type, usage in the offense. He will be lined up every possible way. He's one of the most athletic kids in the MAC. Staff realized that. Coaches realized that. Everybody got together. Everybody's on the same page. You may even see Kelly in a role you never envisioned him in before. So, keep your eye on that. But it will be Simonza to at least start the season.
So with the Kelly situation, is there anything like you can share with us? I'm assuming maybe he decided, hey, maybe the grass isn't greener and I should go back to Ball State, or
he had several offers. He had New Mexico State. He had some HBCUs. He had options, but he loves Ball State. The coaches got with him. Like I said, they realized they can't let one of the most athletic kids in the MAC just walk away. It's up to them now to find the best way to use him so it showcases his abilities.
Sure.
He can throw the ball. It's just when you've been second string, not getting enough snaps to really get out there. But they had to find a way to use him where everybody doesn't know. You can't just come in and say, oh, while Kelly's here, here's going to be a trick play, a quarterback run, and maybe a pass. Because defense key on that, and they know. So it's up to the coaches to figure the best strategy.
Last season, Simonza, I guess he played his 4 games, and then I guess they just kind of make a decision, hey, it's probably in everyone's best interest for you to redshirt this year, learn some more, and then, to preserve that year of eligibility. Is that kind of what happened, or?
I think so. He didn't play bad. I thought he played pretty well.
No, he played good, I thought.
Yeah, he played.
Especially for a true freshman.
Kentucky, Georgia. Yeah, what more could you want? We were at Kentucky, and he was making some great throws. Now, Georgia, any freshman quarterback's going to struggle against Georgia. It is what it is. But I'm not sure why they decided to go with Hatcher at that point.
Sure.
No, it was never really discussed as to why.
All right, well, moving on to the running game, which took a hit this offseason, losing Marquez Cooper, Vaughn Pemberton, and Rico Barfield to the transfer portal. They do return Charlie Spiegel, who had a few carries there in 2023. How did the running back room look and shake out this spring?
Running back, you mentioned Pemberton. He has returned to Ball State. So he should be your number 1 now. And the kid has shown that he's worthy of the spot. he was behind Cooper last year. Cooper wanted, and also some say demanded a ton of carries. Vaughn probably thought it was better to go test the waters. Cooper transferred out. Vaughn came back in. A young guy to look out for is freshman TJ Horton. I've heard a lot of really good things about him. We also got a two-time all-conference back from Eastern Kentucky to transfer in. You mentioned Spiegel. Spiegel's more of a fullback by trait, just a big straight-ahead runner. I don't know why we don't use him more in 3rd and 10 situations, but it should be Pemberton to start, and then either the Eastern Kentucky transfer or Horton splitting 2 and 3 running back.
Hey, you mentioned the Eastern Kentucky running back Sloan. He was very productive at Eastern Kentucky. He led the conference in all-purpose yards with 1,636, rushed for 10 touchdowns, 765 yards on 143 attempts. He had 40 receptions for 467 yards and 3 touchdowns. Did it on special teams too. Do you think we're going to see him on special teams? Any way and every way they can get on the field?
He is a good get, and maybe he does start, but I would suspect it's Pemberton, but everybody runs 2 or 3 backs. But yeah, we just don't know anything other than how he's going to transition into, our level, but it shouldn't be a problem. He's going to be used a lot.
Awesome. What can you tell us about the highly rated freshman that will be in over the summer, DJ Williams?
Boston State really prefers redshirt kids, unless they are just, you give them the ball and you say, okay, we can't. DJ Williams is that kind of kid. He had offers by the entire MAC. So if he can come in and pick up blocking schemes and do the other things that are required to run the ball, then there may be room for him as well. But running back went from a weakness now to us being pretty deep. So we may not need to rush him out there.
With Caden Simonza back at the helm of the passing game, you would think that the receivers and their production should certainly increase. They do lose Ahmad Edwards to graduation, but the return receivers, Queon Magwood, Ty Robinson, Malcolm Gilley, and Nick Presley. They also brought in a transfer, Justin Bowick from Eastern Illinois and Trey Firestone from Purdue. How did the wide receivers look in the spring?
The wide receivers, to me, have been described as fast as we've had at Ball State in years. So that will be good. We are also operating with a new offensive coordinator this year. And I know the focus wants to shift back to more balanced as opposed to run heavy. I've heard Ty Robinson is 100% healthy, ready to go. He transferred in from Colorado last year, and he played really well at Kentucky, had a couple big touchdown catches, but then was injured, and then we just fought injuries at wide receiver all year. I love Magwood. We've always waited for this kid to bust out. He had a preferred walk-on spot at Ohio State as when he was coming in, but as of yet he hasn't busted out, but I hope he does this year. And I like the Bowick kid. He did some things in the spring game I really liked, and Gilley is another guy that you could watch out for. Malcolm.
Do you think Ty Robinson's kind of poised to take over the wide receiver 1 role in this offense?
Absolutely be the one. Yes.
Yeah, before he got hurt, he had a great game at Kentucky there with Simonza. It seemed like the two of them really had a good connection.
Yes. They will be good together, and then I think you'll see Kelly coming out of the slot some, which will add another, you know what I mean, dynamic to it. That second wideout over on the other side, it will be a Gilly or a Bowick or the Purdue transfer. I have not heard much of from yet, but I've heard he's really fast. So, you know, quite again from a weakness into what seems to be on paper, you know, a pretty decent squad of wideouts.
Well, staying with that passing game, let's move over to the tight ends. They lose Brady Hunt to South Carolina, but return one of the top tight ends in the G5 and Tanner Koziel. How did he look in the spring, and what do you think is in store for him with this new offensive coordinator here in 2024?
Yeah, Tanner, he dipped into the portal for a second, was going to go to Louisville, decided that, you know, again, he liked Ball State. He decided to come back. Usage wise, we're going to use him a lot, as we should. He is kind of the hybrid tight end, wide receiver type, big target, fast. So, I mean, he will be almost an extension of the wideouts. And we'll use him in some different ways. But yeah, and he and Simone's are good friends. They have a great connection. Koziel is one of the best dudes on the team. He is a great guy, and he's going to do big things this year.
So the offensive line took some losses this offseason with Damon Kaler, John Mucciolo, and Brandon Malkow all graduating and Corey Stewart transferring. What did Ball State do to shore up the offensive line in the spring, and how did they look?
Well, Mucciolo, he's still here. He did
Okay.
not. Kaler decided to come back, along with All Mac. Ethan Crow decided to come back. And we also have freshman Tyrone Towle. So he'll be a sophomore now. So really all those losses, they all decided to come back. So again, what was looked at as a weakness, now you have fourth and fifth year seniors out there that we weren't expecting back that are now all back and ready to go.
So now you got, this offensive line. You got a lot of people coming back. You got the running back room who got stronger. If you had to pick out a offensive player to have a breakout type season here in 2024, Rob, who are you picking?
Samanza. I think he's going to be really, really good. Koziel, I don't know if you can say he's going to have a breakout season. I think he's just going to have a really good expected season. Ty Robinson, again, it would be considered a breakout season, but not to me. I think he will be 1,000-yard receiver. And then, everything kind of comes back to Kelly in a way, too. Kelly could be the breakout season everywhere, so there's a lot of weapons out there, and I'm excited. Offensive line, I'm going to step back to just a second. They need to improve a little bit on what they did last year, and if they can do that, we should have a pretty good offense.
So Samanza, if people aren't familiar with who he is, we kind of talked about him a little bit at the very beginning, but what's his kind of play style like?
I'd say he's not much of a runner, but he can run if need be. He's a smaller quarterback, good arm, good accuracy. He's from California, and he played in one of the toughest high school conferences in the nation. And so he's played top level kids and top level competition. So he's kind of seasoned. I mean, he's got a good head on his shoulders. He knows the game.